A USC student has been arrested for deleting a homeless man near campus, and from what I'm reading, he probably shouldn't go to the penitentiary. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a 19-year-old USC student, that's University of Southern California, Los Angeles, who has been arrested for deleting a homeless man on Greek Road, right on their campus. Now, the student stayed at the scene of the incident and waited for the police. So it wasn't like he allegedly did this and ran away and tried to hide it. He was staying right there for the police to come. The evidence from what I see, from what I read, is that this was self-defense. Now, before we get to the actual article, let's back up a little bit. We all know about California, Los Angeles, Oakland, all over the map, from the north to the south and everything in between. We know how California can get, especially in Los Angeles. The homeless problem is out of control, and not just homeless, but on drugs, crazy, violent. We already know what it is. And maybe, just maybe, this 19-year-old young man in college came across the wrong person and things went left. We've seen this time and time again. I saw a story coming out of Oakland where a young man went to college out there from Florida for some reason. And after the first car break-in, his mom came and got him. Like, okay, we're not going to do this. We are not going to do this now. That was a bad decision to go to a college in Oakland. But hey, it is what it is. You got to go to school somewhere, I suppose. Now, before I go any further, let's get into the actual clip. Of course, I will link to everything in the box. There is also an article here. You see the headline: USC student arrested in fatal stabbing of homeless man on Greek Road. And there's more here, but I'll go ahead and roll the clip. And without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
USC's Fraternity Row. The LAPD says a homeless man was stabbed to death by a 19-year-old less than 2 blocks from campus. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Caputo live now in University Park with more on what we're learning about that man's connection to USC. Tim.
And Mark, of course, it is summer break, so a lot of the students here at USC have gone home. Still a handful remain, especially here on Fraternity Row, including that 19-year-old. He's a member of this fraternity here behind me. He was here last night, but he's in jail tonight after confronting and killing a homeless man who is allegedly breaking into cars.
Okay. I see. Because I was trying to figure out what's going on. They said it was self-defense. When I say they, I mean people that kind of were there from what I was able to read. Self-defense, the young man didn't go anywhere. That makes sense. You want to confront somebody so they stop committing crimes, and then you get into a confrontation. I get it.
USC students a few houses down from Delta Tau Delta on Greek Row first learned of the stabbing via an alert on their phone.
I just got the notification 50 feet away, that just happened. So it was pretty surreal, to think, obviously it gets this area gets a bad rep, and you sometimes don't really see it all because it's USC and it's kind of secluded, but to be right here is pretty surreal.
LAPD says around 8:15 Monday night, behind the fraternity houses on West 28th Street, 3 people approached a homeless man who was allegedly breaking into cars.
The person reporting advised that he confronted the suspect, and the suspect told him that he had a gun, resulting in the person reporting, stabbing the suspect.
The 27-year-old homeless man who was stabbed ran away into an alley but died. 19-year-old Ivan Gallegos, a Delta Tau Delta member who was recently profiled by the USC newspaper about his music, has now been booked. Police say Gallegos, a business major, stayed at the scene and talked to police. The other 2 people who confronted that homeless man were interviewed and released by police.
See, what's going to happen? They're going to say that you confronted him. You didn't have to do that. You could have called the police. So you took matters into your own hands, and then you got into a confrontation and the guy died. But that wasn't your choice to make. That's what they're going to say. I'm kind of torn on this a little bit. I'm going to let them keep on talking, then I'll give you my 2 cents.
Other USC students told me there's been frequent confrontations and altercations with homeless in the area, stemming from break-ins and theft. And most students say because of that, they're hyper aware of their surroundings once they're off campus.
Generally pretty safe. Obviously, we're aware. And as a man, it's, I tend to have a little more safety there. But everybody's aware that, some of the surrounding areas aren't as safe.
While USC students here for the summer aren't completely surprised by the confrontation, They're shocked and saddened that someone was killed just feet from their fraternity.
It's tough to navigate because, USC, the area we're in like a low-income area. It's just how it is,
Now, where is USC? I'm not a left coast aficionado. I don't know a lot about Los Angeles. If you guys know where this campus is located specifically and what kind of neighborhood it is as far as the crime and the violence, let me know in the comments. And also, what's the homeless situation like? Are the homeless violent, confrontational, criminals? Let me know what's happening out there in Los Angeles.
at nature, and so it's kind of hard to navigate, not disrupting those residents, but also making sure that the students have a safe environment at the same time.
And this case now goes to the district attorney's office. They will ultimately decide whether or not to proceed or consider this self-defense. We're live in University Park.
So that's what's happening. You have what could be a self-defense case
today, a grand opening for.
Okay, let's not have that interfere. But what we could have is a self-defense case out there in Los Angeles because you got these criminals who are breaking into cars and things of this nature. Now, $1 million question, obvious question. If the homeless problem was known about on campus for a long time, where's the action taken against it? Where's the action taken to make sure these guys don't camp or squat or anything like that on campus or near campus, putting these kids in danger? Okay, listen, if it's me and I'm the parent of one of these kids and I'm paying all this amount of money in tuition, how much does USC cost? It's got to be north of $50,000 a year in state, I would presume. And I've not been to college in a long time, so please pardon my ignorance. But I know it's not going to be cheap if you're just paying and you don't have a scholarship or something. So with that amount of money being spent, you would expect a level of safety if you have a consistent homeless problem and it's not dealt with to the point where the students know about it and they got to try to tiptoe around the situation. I'm like, what's really going on? Let's have the campus be safer. Let's have these kids be safer. Let's have the staff be safer to get rid of this homeless, violent, criminal problem, because obviously things like this are going to happen. It's going to be a confrontation. Somebody might get deleted. And now you got a young man who's in jail and might not come home anytime soon. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on the whole situation? Do you think that this area, USC, is dangerous? Been like that for a while? What's going on with the police prices? Do they have their own police force on USC? How about LAPD? How about anything else? Can anyone else help get the situation under control? But then again, I guess Los Angeles is like this in general. USC might be a microcosm of the entire city. I'm hearing about people going to the stores on Rodeo, whatever that is, and then they get followed back to their homes in the hills, and they get robbed and assaulted and maybe even deleted right there. Hearing about that all the time. So if it's about me wanting to go visit a place in the United States, left coast might not be on the list. Maybe for a brief period of time, like 2 or 3 days, but to live there, to go to college there and be on campus, and I'm walking back to my dorm at night and we got these homeless guys out here and they're already known to be an issue. See, now we're just getting into unnecessary danger that could have been cleaned up by the local law enforcement, but it's got to be up to the Javier Becerras and whatnot, the DA, I believe. It's up to them and the mayor. What's that? Gascon, Javier Becerra, or Karen Bass, I believe. It's up to them just to make sure that everything is going the way it's supposed to be. If not, then this kind of issue will persist. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.